Hey cooks, it's time. We have been waiting for this for quite some time, and today we're gonna do a basic test and review of the Kenwood Cooking Chef. I have wanted this mixer for quite some time. It was $2,000 when I first saw it, but I got a heck of a deal on it recently, and we did an unboxing, and now it's time to do our basic test and review. So join me as we put the Kenwood Cooking Chef to the test. So if you guys are in my Facebook group, you know that this came along. It was a tip from one of my Facebook group users, and I've wanted this mixer for quite some time, and it was $2,000, and I knew for $2,000 Eric was never going to let me get this mixer. But when it came through, Charlotte was doing a clearance on it. It has been coming down in price. Amazon had it for $1,000. Charlotte had it for just about $600. And when we got that price, I jumped on this bad boy because this thing has tons of different features. If you want to take a look at it, I'll put a link down in the description. Amazon is still running it close to $900. It is an expensive mixer, but there's a lot going on here. When we unboxed it, I was just like, wow, right? I don't have all those parts out here. If you want to look at the unboxing, I'll put a link also down in the description to that. This whole counter was filled with parts. It has a food processor, a blender. This thing cooks right in the mixer. And today, we're not going to use that feature. We're just going to do the basic test and review that we do on this mixer. I contemplated doing that all at once, but there's so much to this mixer that it is just going to be a hugely long video. So I kind of wanted to chunk it up in parts. So we're going to do our basic test and review. We're going to do a test and review of the cooking function. We're going to do a review of the blender, and we're going to do a review of the food processor. We might wrap the food processor up into the cooking function, depending on what I get used to cooking, so that we might chop and cook in this thing. So today, we're just going to do the basic test. We're going to look at the overall look and feel of this mixer. We're going to look at the whip. We're going to whip some cream. We're going to do some cookies, a basic peanut butter cookie, and we're going to do a basic bread dough. Wow. I can tell you from the very beginning that I'm a little intimidated by this mixer. I have used 25, 30 different kinds of mixers, but this one's got a lot going on, particularly with the cooking function. All I can say is, wow. So let's get to our test. Okay, first up, the overall look and feel. I do not have all the parts out here, like I said. We're just going to be doing the overall look and feel of the basic mixer because that's what this is designed for. It's a mixer first and foremost. It's got a lot of stuff going on, and all that stuff is fun, but we need to check out to see if this thing can do basically what a mixer is supposed to do. So this mixer is 7 quarts. It is huge, right? It is 1150 watts when you're cooking in it, and it's 800 watts when you're mixing with it. It comes with so many attachments. One of the challenges I have with this mixer is how to store all the attachments, because there isn't like a fancy box that comes with it that you put everything in. Right now, I have the attachments in this little box. This is just our attachments for doing the mixing. It doesn't have any of the attachments for all the other stuff. So what this mixer has is it has our 7-quart bowl. It has 3 hubs on it, depending on what accessory you're looking at. So the front hub is a slow hub, and this is a hub that you're going to use a meat grinder with and that kind of stuff. That's going to go on your front hub. This has two hubs underneath the hood. And one is a fast hub for your blender, because obviously you need all that speed in your blender, and one is for your food processor. The reason they do that is opposed to one of the other major brands that has a food, they only have one hub, so their food processor is out here. The food processor is really slow. Here, the blender and the food processor is above the motor as opposed to out here. So there's more power here to run those types of equipment. Right? Wow. I mean, I can just say, wow, right? So we're gonna plug this thing in. The way this thing works on the cooking mode is you're gonna put, there's a pouring shield here, and there's also a secondary shield that makes this more of a sealed system for cooking. And we're gonna control this mixer out here. So here, this is your timer. It's also gonna tell you your temperature for the cooking modes. This is how you control what temperature you want. This is your speed dial. It has 3 speeds in this red here for cooking. It has a minimum and then it goes all the way up. It also has a pulse and it has a folding feature. So if you just hit this and you need to fold in a little egg white into something, or you need to fold in, you know, some chocolate chips or something, you can just hit the fold feature and it'll be a gentle mix. If you want to mix and pulse, this is going to go, so this is going to, the speed is going to be minimum. This is going to be the speed all the way up. Right? Woohoo! So you can start out at minimum. Kind of sounds like a jet engine, huh? It's not too loud compared to some other mixes that I've used. So we're going to pop the top here. This is classic Kenwood. Absolutely fantastic attachments. So this is our whisk. These attachments are totally stainless steel. Look at that. Isn't that a beauty? Then we also have our K beater. Look at that.
How much do they weigh?
It's huge.
Is it heavy?
Very heavy. We have our Joe hook. We have our stirring. So this is what you're going to use when you're cooking. Look at that. Wow. And this is a scraper beater. Somehow these little things go on here. I was having a little bit of trouble getting these on, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. So I'll get Eric to do that for me. So can I geek a little bit? So, my opinion of the overall look and feel. The biggest challenge with this mixer is, one, learning to use it. There's a lot going on, and it does take some time to get used to it. Not so much of the basic mixer function, but on everything else, right? There's a lot of stuff to store. This is a big mixer. This is not for someone who's got a small apartment kitchen, unless you don't have a lot of other stuff in there. It takes up quite a bit of room, and there's a lot of attachments. So you just have to be aware that there's going to be some storage issues, and the fact that it doesn't come with a storage box is a downfall because there's so much to it. I got this at the Container Store, and I got another larger one for some of the other attachments. Besides that, this mixer is a beauty. The attachments are absolutely incredible. They're classic Kenwood attachments that there's very few mixers out there, if none, that have attachments of this quality. I don't think I've ever seen really any mixer. The KitchenAid commercial has really nice attachments. These are more weighty than those. And
how about your Viking?
My Viking mixers have weighty attachments like this, but frankly, the Viking mixers were made by Kenwood, so it doesn't surprise me that they have those Kenwood type attachments, or at least I believe it's made by Kenwood. This mixer is fantastic. Is it $2,000 fantastic? Yeah, right? If you can do that. Is it $1,000 fantastic? Yeah. Is it $600 fantastic like I got it for it? Heck yeah, right? This thing is unbelievable. Aside from the storage issues, but that comes along with a mixer in this kind of price range. This is what you call, when you're talking about mixers and you're talking about mixers for the home line, this is about as high up as you can get. This is what you would call, this is definitely a luxury appliance. It's probably some of the best that you can buy. And to be honest with you, it doesn't disappoint. So in terms of the overall look and feel, I give it a heck yeah A. First up, we are going to whip some cream. We're going to use this big, huge whip. Yay, right? And so we chilled the bowl and the whip.
And the cup.
And the cup, so they're nice and cool. And I got 2 cups of whipping cream. Since this is such a big mixer, I'm doing 2 cups. I don't know, 1 cup might just get lost in here. Yum, that is heavy cream. We're gonna go ahead and lower him down. Let's rock and roll. So I think we got some soft peaks. So I'm going to go ahead and put some powdered sugar and a little bit of vanilla. I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to mess around and get butter. Woo! We have whipped cream.
That was about 40 seconds total mixing time.
40 seconds? Wow. You want to taste it, Bill?
Why not?
I'm allergic to dairy.
Yeah, I confirm this is whipped cream.
The Kenwood gets an A. Next up, some peanut butter cookies. I usually do similar things in each of my tests so we can judge them similarly, right? So we got the K paddle on there. It does come with a scraper beater. We'll see how this goes. We could possibly use this, but I wanted to like go with the basic setup. So in here I got butter. I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down. We're gonna cream this up. And it is kind of sticking to the side, so we'll see. We got some sugar up in here. We got some white sugar and some brown sugar. We want this to cream a few minutes, so maybe 2-3 minutes. So I do see that it's sticking to the side, so what if we put on the scraper beater and see what it can do, if it makes a big difference. Scrape this down really quick. Let's put it on just for giggles, right? Woo, this thing is heavy. I just want to see what this thing has to offer. Wow. Looks like it's doing a pretty nice job. I like that. Okay, some egg. So look at that. That's pretty nice, huh? I like it. So we got some peanut butter here. Obviously, one of the things is there's not a lot of room in here to move it around, to put your ingredients in. So I'm thinking on this one you got to raise the head a lot more than on others. You want some peanut butter in there, Boo?
Jelly while you're at it.
Jelly?
Yeah, they better jelly cookies.
Okay. Yeah, nice and sticky. Yeah, that scraper paddle is boss. Right? It's boss.
Well, the K mixer is probably good for general duty paddling.
Yeah.
But like maybe if you're gonna do cake mixes, maybe. Well, you're doing the sticky stuff.
Yeah, that's
You gotta use a scraper.
that thing, and this is a really nice one. The only thing I don't like about it is it has like these squeegees that go on it, and I don't exactly know how you clean it. It was kind of a pain to put it together. So we got our flour, put some salt in here. Whoops, got some baking powder, baking soda. And I'm gonna rock and roll on this. Nice. So I'm currently mixing this on a 1.
Doing the job, isn't it?
It's doing the job really, really nicely. Really nicely. Like some of the best I've ever seen. Whoa.
You gotta scrape down the scraper.
I just want a little of the, I don't want to give up any cookie, right, dough. Those are major. Wow. This is very nice. And this mixer just rocked it with no problem. Scraper Beetle did an excellent job. I would say the K beater may have a little bit of trouble like the other one with that K shape, and it will bind the cookie dough up. But with the addition of the scraper paddle, I know you can get a scraper beater for the other model at Kenwood. I have one for that one, but it did a great job. The Kenwood gets an A. Rock some dough, rock some dough. Can the Kenwood rock some dough, right? We got our dough hook. And we're gonna go ahead, put our water in here. This is 110-degree water. We're gonna put our active dry yeast. This is actually my bread machine, honey white bread. And we're just gonna make it in the mixer. So I'm gonna put a little sugar in the form of honey. And let me lower this down real quick. Let me do a little mix. Woo, woo, woo. You see that mixing of that? I know the mixer recently that couldn't do that, right? Yeah, kind of a similar name. So let me give this about 10 minutes and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Okay, we have a little bit of bubbling action going on. So I'm gonna put the rest of this honey in. I'm kind of at a weird angle because I got this mixer backwards from how you would really use it. So it's slightly harder for me to get ingredients in. I'm not gonna like really complain about that too much right now because I have this thing backwards compared to how I would use it.
Plus you got your knob like you said a minute ago. So
yeah, it's backwards. So we have some olive oil to put in here. And we got our flour. And we're gonna start putting in some flour, and then part of the way through I'm gonna put the salt in. So this is on a 1. I got 4 cups of flour here. And I'm going to put our salt in. It's a little bit dry, so I'm going to put a little tiny bit more water in there. This is on a 1. And I could actually slow this down a little bit. This thing is not hesitating at all. So I took the bread out of the dough out of the mixer. I have it on the board and we have some really nice dough. That mixer rocked it because I just kept running it and there was like no hesitation with the mixer. It was absolutely fantastic. Wow, I'm very impressed with the performance of the Kenwood on bread. I'm going to give it an A. So my opinion of the Kenwood on just these basic tasks, I think it's a fantastic mixer. It did great all across the board. It handled the dough. It did great on the cookies. It did fantastic. It was actually one of the best that I've used on the cookies. The whip, it did a great job. The overall look and feel is great. The only issue is there's a lot of parts with it, and so you need to be prepared for that. So, the official Amy Learns to Cook grade for the Kenwood Cooking Chef on the basic tasks of whip, paddle, and dough hook, it gets an A big time. So I'm going to play around with the cooking function, and then we're going to do maybe a soup in that first. We're also going to use the blender and the food processor. Like I said, I just wanted this to be a basic test of the basic functions of the mixer to see how it performs its basic job that it's supposed to, and it performed it absolutely fantastic. So stay tuned. We're going to have some more videos on this mixer coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. But at this stage of the game, the Kenwood Cooking Chef is a winner. If you like this video, please subscribe below and leave me a comment and a like. Visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest at Amy Learns to Cook. On Facebook, I'm at facebook.com/groups/Amy Learns to Cook. And on Instagram, I'm at Cooking with Amy. Wow, right? This is classic Kenmore. When you open this...
No. You just said classic Kenmore.
I know you can get a scraper bottle for the smaller version of the Kenmore.
Kenwood.
I know you can get...